Giants fans, we're on the cusp of the 2017 NFL season, and welcome to the first installment of True Blue Review. I'm John Fanning, and I'm joined by longtime Giants fan and analyst, Rich Barnhart.
Thanks, John. Guys, we're going to talk about the New York Giants, and primarily from the fan perspective. And we're going to talk about upcoming games. Like in our next installment, we'll talk about the Dallas game that's coming up. We'll talk about previous games, but for today, we're going to talk about the offseason, and we're going to talk about some of the positives and maybe some of the negatives of the offseason. But that's what this installment is about.
Well, great. Rich, some of the notables not on this year's roster initially is Rashad Jennings.
Jennings, good guy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I like Jennings. I liked him as a back. I remember he had a couple bang-out runs that I loved. He had this one run against Buffalo where he caught the ball, and so I liked him. I think that he suffered from not having a good offensive line, primarily, and I'm really surprised he hasn't been picked up by another team. I think he will eventually get picked up by another team unless mentally he's decided to retire. I don't know, but yeah, I like Rashad Jennings, but it was time to move on. It's the bottom line.
Yeah. Victor Cruz, a longtime fan favorite.
Oh, heck yeah. Victor Cruz. I'm not going to be, he's going to retire as a Giant. I'm not going to be surprised if he's in the Ring of Honor, because he's had, a couple games, obviously the Super Bowl, but the games leading up to the Super Bowl and that last run that they had where he was just, he was off the charts. Great player and definitely a fan favorite. Of course, he was an undrafted guy. And then he was also a New Yorker, which made him, just a guy that people just loved. I loved him, so I think he'll be back. I wasn't surprised that he didn't make that he got cut. I wasn't surprised that he tried to go out for another team and did not make a roster. He might get picked up by another team. I don't know, but unfortunately, his career at the Giants is over.
Bobby Rainey, I'm really glad he's gone.
Yeah. We watched that game together where he had that boneheaded, kick. Was it a kickoff? I think.
Yeah, it was a kickoff.
And he feels it at the 3-yard line or whatever. I just I can't stand Bobby Rainey. I never liked him for as long as he was on the team. And you remember me watching it and kind of being like, oh my God, they're putting Bobby Rainey in the game because their offense was already not good last year.
Yeah.
And then you put him in the game and it's like, oh man, come on, we can't do better.
Right.
Right. So anyway, I'm glad he got cut.
And tight end Larry Donnell.
Donnell, yeah. Larry Donnell, when he first started, man, I thought he was going to be amazing. And he had a pretty good first season with the Giants. Has some great games. But then I don't know. I think he had like a neck injury or something that might have caused him to not ever really, play at the level that he could. Plus, I didn't think he was a great route runner. I thought he made a lot of mental errors. But he was a young guy, so you can improve on that. But physically, I think he had a neck injury that might have affected his game. So now, unfortunately, we had to move on from him too.
Exactly. We have some new faces on the Giants as well. Let's review some of those, like Brandon Marshall.
Sure, Marshall. Oh yeah, I'm excited about Marshall. Really excited about Marshall. He's a big he's a big receiver, and all the fans that are watching know that he's been a guy that's been in the league for multiple years. He's basically he was a superstar. Mm-hmm. He really was an NFL superstar. Maybe just 3 seasons ago or 2 seasons ago, he had a great year. I think 2 seasons ago with the Jets, had a lot of yardage, exceeded expectations, and I feel that he's going to exceed expectations for the Giants. I really do.
Fantastic. Geno Smith,
poaching a lot of guys from the Jets, man.
Yeah, I
know. That team got nothing. They're talking about them going 0-16.
Yeah.
Which, frankly, as a Giants fan, I don't care. But, I don't like the Jets. So, but I am much happier that they took Geno Smith versus Josh Johnson. Is that his name? I didn't like Josh Johnson at all, But Geno Smith, I thought Geno Smith, I think he's a decent quarterback. I don't think he's as bad as people think he is. He can win games. He has won games. Mm-hmm. He's played an entire season for an NFL team. As a backup, he's a great backup. quite frankly, I hope we never see him on the field. But if Eli needs some rest, if we're blowing some team out, if that happened to happen for once, then great. If we just had to run out the clock and we put Geno Smith in, I'm good to go. But just in case Eli Manning had to sit out a game or something because he had a shoulder or whatever, some sort of injury, I'm happy with Geno Smith as a backup. No
Fantastic.
question.
Well, the Giants, one of the banes of their existence is the offensive line. And they did address the offensive line by bringing DJ Fluker in from the Chargers.
Yeah, offensive line. It's all you've really heard for the last 3 seasons, that we've got to improve this offensive line. So they bring Fluker in. Guy's a monster. No doubt about that. Was drafted high. Like, just like 3 seasons ago or 4 seasons ago. Was a top prospect. Went to the Chargers, had a very good rookie season, but then I don't know. They moved him from tackle to guard. He kind of fell off, and here he is 2 seasons later. They cut the guy. Another, one man's trash, another man's treasure. I don't know.
But exactly.
All I know is this guy is really big, and he brings some competition to that right side of the line, and they need it. Because John Jerry and Bobby Hart, they need to get pushed a little bit. They absolutely need it. They have got to play better this season. No question about that. So I'm hoping that Fluker gives them that competition, because he very well could replace either of them. So we'll just have to watch. I really hope that they have improved that right side of the line with bringing in Fluker. I do.
Well, another person that was brought in was Red Ellison on the tight end position.
Yeah. It looks like he's, I didn't, quite honestly, I don't know if he's going to make the team, because they had so many tight ends that they had. Of course, Will Tye got cut, so that was not too much of a surprise. But I think they're just going with a different plan with the tight ends, that Will Tye didn't fit. This guy, Rhett Ellison, is not just a tight end. He can play fullback. And he even though he's a tight end, he's not one of these high-flying tight ends. He's a blocker primarily. And they need that extra help on the line. And finally they have it. They also kept another, I got to look at this, John, real quick. They kept another, and I don't know this guy, we haven't really talked about him too much. Shane Smith is his name, another fullback on the team. So this is the first time. Giants didn't have a fullback last year.
Yeah.
They did not have a fullback. I like power running football. So, and the Giants who doesn't remember Brandon Jacobs?
Yeah.
This guy was, this was a power back, so we don't have anybody like that as a running back right now, but it's nice to see that we look like we're manipulating to get back into the power running game. That's exciting, kick-ass football to me. I love that.
Well, we also had some rookie signings, so I want to run down some of them. Let me know what you think. One that's been talked about often is Evan Ingram.
So we just talked about Rhett Ellison. So now Evan Ingram will be. They're gonna use both those guys probably in a 2 tight end set, which is nice because initially defenses won't know what to do. Like, what are they doing exactly? They just won't know what the plays the Giants are running. Now, I know they talked about McAdoo being an offensive wizard, and if you go back to his days with Green Bay, he was really good with tight ends. He really was good with tight ends. So I think now we're going to be able to see it. Because we didn't see it last year, we just didn't have the roster.
Right.
But this year, I think they were more concerned about improving that position and augmenting the line than they were getting new players for the line. That's exactly what they did. So I think these tight ends are augmenting the line, and I think that the offensive game should be very improved over what it was last year and even the year before that.
Okay. Our second round pick was defensive tackle Dalvin Tomlinson.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of him. I know that he's a backup right now for who's he going to be? He's going to back up Bromley. as far as what I see on the depth chart right now. But he's going to be a good player for the Giants. It looks that way. So it's a good place. Like Jonathan Hankins is gone, so now Bromley's going to play his position. Tomlinson's going to back him up. So
okay,
awesome.
Davis Webb made it.
Maybe he's going to be maybe they're banking on being the future guy. I don't know. He's got the measurables.
Yeah.
I don't know about. I don't know. I mean, you just don't know.
Yeah.
You're not going to. Hopefully, we don't see him for a couple years. But maybe if Eli Manning plays this season, maybe one season, maybe three. I don't know if he's going to play. You just don't know.
Yeah.
If he gets injured, he's probably going to hang it up. And then maybe they're going to see if this guy can come in and take Manning. So right now, he's going to be coached by Manning, I'm sure. And he's going to be under Manning's wing. Awesome. No problem with that. So hoping that he's our future quarterback. We don't have to make another draft choice. I'm tired of drafting quarterbacks.
Well, our fourth rounder was Wayne Gallman, running back out of Clemson.
He made the team. So now we got to see. He's a speedster. So we got to see how they could use him. They got 4 backs. So he's probably lowest on the depth chart, but we'll see. He's probably going to be a special teams guy. We don't know how they're going to use him in the special teams, but if he shows something that we probably haven't seen in preseason, maybe he's showed in practice something. I don't know, but he could be a great special teams player, and we just don't know it yet. But that's probably how they're going to get him involved if they do get him involved with the game.
Defensive end Avery Moss was a 5th rounder from Youngstown State.
Yeah, and he's on the squad too. We replaced Double O, who got cut, and I don't know what the issues there were with Double O, but we'll see. We're not going to see a lot of him. I don't know who he's backing up Eric Flowers, I guess. So maybe he's pushing him. He's competing with him a little bit.
On 6th round, we had the on the offense.
Wait a second. Did I say he's backing up Eric Flowers? That was wrong. That was wrong because that's okay. I'm getting confused on my guys. The fans know it. They're going to bust my balls on that. That's fine. Write us some comments. It's okay. He's a defensive guy, so I don't know who I got him mixed up with. Anyway, I don't know if these guys, once you get further down, you get into you don't even know these people. So anyway.
All right.
Cool.
Guard Adam Bisnawadi, he's been moved to the practice squad. So, again, we'll see where he fits in all this.
He just needs some time.
Yeah.
He's probably going to be a guy they're going to bring up next year onto the roster.
Yeah, he had some good looks during preseason, so, they felt well enough to keep him. Undrafted rookie was Travis Rudolph, a big fan favorite. And he's also on the practice squad. I'm glad to see him stick around.
Yeah, he's probably, he's young. He showed some pretty dynamic athleticism, during that one preseason game. I was like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
But he was balling out.
Yeah.
And he was playing well. So, I think that he has a future with the Giants, but you never know. I mean,
yeah,
he's practice squad guy, so.
Well, Calvin Munson actually made the roster. He's a linebacker, undrafted free agent from San Diego State.
Yeah.
So, again,
we'll see
he's done well enough to get in.
Probably going to be another special
get
teams
on the
guy.
roster.
It's probably going to be a special teams guy.
So, and finally, Chad Wheeler.
Because let me mention this because we were talking about this earlier. Not during this conversation we have right now, but before as we were prepping, remember we were talking about Herzlich?
Mm-hmm.
I was telling you about him a little bit. Well, now that he's injured, this guy Munson may be his replacement guy in special teams. So what you really hope for these guys is they can really play special teams.
Yeah.
If not, they're just going to sit the bench. It's just a waste of space, right? So we got to utilize these guys in the special teams. That's where a lot of injuries happen. But hopefully, we need a replacement for Herzlich. And Herzlich is a linebacker. Mm-hmm. This guy Munson's a linebacker too. And but Herzlich, people, maybe some of the fans know, but he's a great special teams player. Mm-hmm. I mean, he is a great special teams player, and you're going to feel his loss on special teams. So I'm wondering if this guy Munson's going to kind of fill in for him,
right?
Right. So we'll see. We'll see.
Well, and finally, Chad Wheeler, also an undrafted rookie.
What's his? He's the backup for Flowers, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the guy I'm thinking
Yeah.
of. That he's the backup for Flowers.
Yeah. So we'll see how he works out as well.
But he's undrafted, but he beat Biznawadi out.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, you don't really see much of those guys. I mean, you see them in the preseason, but who they're really playing in the preseason? Are they playing number one guys, or I don't know. So we just got to see how those guys do. Also, probably has to do something on special teams. Maybe, I don't know. He's probably so huge he can't do anything on special teams.
Yeah. Well, why don't we move into the team as a whole and look at last year's record and some of the rankings that they had. I'm just going to run right through it so we move through.
Do it.
Last year they had an 11-5 record. Lost in the playoffs to Green Bay. And
Yeah. Broken heart.
yeah.
Green Bay got.
What's up with Green Bay?
You know, no. Giants last two times the Giants have gone through the playoffs, they went through Green Bay. So, you know, they had their number a couple times. And the one year Green Bay was 15-1. You know, and they beat them. I was surprised, but I was pumped. You know. But anyway, they got a little revenge because I remember the game specifically. They had a Hail Mary. The Giants had a Hail Mary against Green Bay when they won in 2011, or it was 2012, but the 2011 season. And then last year, Green Bay had that Hail Mary. But what people may not remember is Rogers Cromartie got hurt in that game. And he took him out. I don't remember who the backup was, but he just wasn't. He just could not hang. Aaron Rodgers knew it, and they took advantage of it, and they just smoked him. You know, boom. And if you think about their defense last year, that was their worst game. You know.
Well, going through some of the offensive rankings, we have 17th in passing. These are all ESPN rankings. 17th in passing, 29th in rushing, 26th in points, and 25th combined.
They need to improve their point total, no question about that. Their rushing game needs to be better this year. And that's why people are talking about the O-line, because they're worried about that right side of the line primarily. And Flowers too. His name has come up because he makes a lot of mental errors. A lot of, you know, Giants get a good run finally. You're like, thank God they finally ran the ball. And then it's like, oh wait, Flowers, 10-yard penalty for holding. You know, It's like, oh, really? Seriously? And then it's kind of aggravating, but that's what the fans have been dealing with, as you know, for the last couple seasons. Man, they just got to improve this year.
Defensive rankings, a little bit better. 3rd in rushing, 23rd in passing, 2nd in points against, so they held the teams down, and 10th in total yards. Now, 21st in takeaways, and -2.
Turnover to turn. Yeah.
-2 differential.
Their defense is good. I must be honest. I mean, I'm a fan. You know, every time I talk to anybody about the Giants, man, automatically they think I'm biased. You know, I love Eli. People always say, "Oh, well, Eli, this, Eli." I'm like, whatever. He's durable. Let's give him that, right? And he's proven that he can play. No question, the Giants' defense this year is going to be a high-ranked defense. I mean, they got better to me, the way from what I'm looking at. Plus, you have these guys that have been in this Spagnuolo scheme for one more season, you know. So I feel that they're going to be a fantastic. They improved the secondary. They're going to be a fantastic defense this year. And Landon Collins could very well be Defensive Player of the Year. No question about that. He was looking good, man.
Yeah.
And Pierre-Paul.
Yeah.
These guys were looking. Pierre-Paul was looking good in preseason.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he?
I mean, he was looking good. He's looking best I've ever seen him.
They definitely need to start turning around the differential in takeaways.
Absolutely.
They've got to move up on that.
I think they started to improve that towards the end of last season. You know, but of course, also that's the offense. If our offense is turning over the ball, so it's not just what the defense is getting, it's also what the offense is giving away. So really, I think the defense can improve. Maybe, you know, cause a few more fumbles or whatever, knock the ball out. But our offense also can't turn the ball over because that plays into that stat.
Right.
You know, so.
Right. On special teams, just some of the quick notes on that. Field goals, 85%, number 2 on field goals. Point after attempts, 96%, number 9. And that there was an issue with Josh Brown.
Yeah.
And so he's gone, and I think I've got this name right, Aldrich Rosas. And he's 6'3", 221 from Southern Oregon. He made the team.
I mean, he looks good. He looks good. I'm hoping that we have him for 10 years, and we don't have to think about it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I liked John. I know about the whole thing that happened with him, with domestic abuse and stuff like that. I'm not saying that, yeah, of course I don't agree with that, but the bottom line is Josh Brown was a great kicker.
Yeah.
He was. I had him on the fantasy team. Man, he gave me a lot of points. Of course, the Giants weren't scoring touchdowns a lot. They're scoring a lot of field goals.
Right.
Which I'd rather not have that happen, you know. But it's good for fantasy. But yeah, so I was sorry with the whole thing I had with Josh Brown. I think that also was a little bit of a thing, a little cloud over the Giants last year, maybe in the locker room or whatever. But now that this Rosas or whatever his name is, or Rojas, how you say it?
I think it's Rosas.
Rosas? That sounds right. I think he's good. I mean, he had some long field goals in the preseason. He hit a couple over 50 yards, I believe.
Yeah.
So, yeah, awesome.
So why don't we look at the offensive side and then the defensive side as a whole now. On the offensive side, we've got Brandon Marshall starting. We've got Beckham, obviously. And then who else is on the...
On the third, we know the third guy is...
Sterling Shepard.
Yeah, Shepard. I'm not really worried about the receiving corps. They were good last year. It's the line, the rushing game, which is the same thing, really. That's my... If that improves, then Eli's going to improve in the passing game because the teams aren't going to know what's happening. They're going to have to play a little bit closer into the rushing game and focus on that. It's going to open the field up. I mean, I know that people, for the longest time, it's always been said the rush sets up the pass. And now they're saying, well, the pass also sets up the rush. But let's just be honest. If you can't rush, they're going to focus on your receivers. The defenses are.
Right.
They're not worried about your rushing game.
Right.
Okay? However, if your rushing game improves, then it's going to free your receivers up. And
Gotcha.
we got some good receivers. So I'm not worried about the receiving game at all. I'm worried about the rushing game. Go ahead.
Well, let's talk about the defense
Oh, they're great.
as a whole. For fear of sounding redundant, you know,
They're good.
Yeah.
They're good. I think their secondaries improve. I mean, everybody's got to stay healthy. That's always something that is talked about. They got to stay healthy. But if they do, that's a top defense. No question about that. I mean, last year, did the offense win any games? Really? The defense won every game.
right, right,
The defense won those 11 games. Let's
Yeah.
just be honest. It wasn't the offense.
right.
You know. So, yeah, they're good.
I think Landon Collins is going to be even more of a beast this year.
He is.
I think he's on fire
He
right
is.
now.
I'm telling
I mean,
you.
just watching him in preseason, it was stupid.
He is starting to really be. He's starting to know what's going to happen. He's seen the place, and then boom, he shoots right to the spot where the ball's going to be, and he pounds the person. You know, he's good. He anticipates really well. So he's a good player.
Yeah. So Olivier Vernon, JPP, who got solid ends.
Monsters.
Yeah.
Monsters. Both
Yeah.
those guys are very good.
Snacks in the middle.
And here's the thing. Olivia Vernon last year with this team, that's what I'm saying, it was only his first year in the Spagnuolo scheme.
Yeah.
Now he's year 2. So he's more comfortable with it. He's going to be more comfortable with the other guys he's playing with because he's just didn't know their personalities last year. Now he's getting to know those guys. They've had probably an off season together where they've hung out a little bit. They've kind of tightened that up. And I would probably say that, I don't know this for sure, but I would probably say that they talk a lot to each other, and they've got a pretty good bond that's been developed. I think they're going to be a bang out defense, no question about it.
And finally, special teams. Bobby Rainey's gone.
Thank God.
Mark Herzlich's gone.
That's too bad.
So we've got Dwayne Harris and we've got Odell Beckham.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not sure who they're going to plug in for the other two positions at this point.
Yeah, I know. I hear some of the coaches talking about not using Odell Beckham in the return game, but personally, I think they should use him. I mean, every time he touches the ball, something good happens, pretty much. Not every time, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, the possibility of something good happening. And as far as a punt returner versus Dwayne Harris is serviceable and he's reliable, but he's just not going to get the yardage that Beckham can do. You know, Beckham is just he's quick, he cuts. You know, he makes up the guys trying to defend him make mistakes. So I hope, I'm not worried about Odell Beckham getting hurt. I'm like, if you got a guy that's talented, you should probably put the ball in his hands as much as possible. You know, so. I understand that, you know, you'd rather have him on the field as a receiver and everything, but man, he's exciting, man. He's exciting. And I think he should do punt returns. I'm hoping they use him for punt returns this year.
Yeah, I agree with you. We've gone through offense, defense, special teams. Where do you see this team finishing up in the NFC East?
Predictions are hard. You know, I mean, if they stay, you always have to say if they stay healthy. You know, because if Eli Manning gets hurt, you know. I don't know how many games Geno Smith could win. That would be a major blow. If Beckham gets knocked out, you know, they've had a problem with keeping the receiving core healthy through the years. But let's just say they stay healthy. Let's put all the teams on that same playing field. Even, you know, the Cowboys, Redskins, whatever. All the teams. Let's say they stay healthy. I think that Giants can be better this year than they were last year. I'll still say they're the same record, but I think they'll win a division. I don't think the Cowboys are going to be 13-3. I think that the Giants got better in the offseason. I don't think that the Cowboys got better. And with, you know, this Ezekiel Elliott thing, I mean, we're going to talk about that next week because we'll know more. Maybe he will play. We don't even know right now. But if he's not playing the first end of the season, the first 8 games or whatever it is, that's a big deal.
Yeah,
that's a big deal, you know, and that's obviously going to affect that team. And they're probably not going to win as many games. Plus, you got, you know, is Prescott going to have a sophomore slump? I don't know, but he could. So I'm going to say that they're not going to win 13 games. They'll still be a good team. I think, though, that the Giants will win the division.
Okay. Well, that wraps up our season preview for 2017 New York Giants season. Thank you very much for joining us. And True Blue Review is going to be here. We're going to have another video this week for the Dallas Cowboys, so please stay tuned. Add any comments or questions you have to the bottom of the YouTube page, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon.
And for all you haters out there, don't disrespect Eli.
Amen.
Okay. Trying to get a joke in there. It's getting played out.
Yeah, I got you.